Hi everybody, so thank you for coming back and joining me for another video. You'll be pleased to know we are back to our normal royal programming. Thank you very much for everyone that did send me birthday messages, very much appreciated. It was very weird catching up on the internet, a week's worth of internet, in a matter of days. It's absolutely been crazy, and of course, like I said on the video I posted Sunday, up pops the weasel, he's back, and not only is he back, he's back in the UK. So before I get stuck into that, I'm going to start the video with some sad news. Today I woke up and I actually cried because, you know, there's every so often there's a celebrity that you genuinely love, you've grown up with them, and when they go, it really actually affects you. And this morning it was the news that Paul O'Grady has died at the age of 67. Now this is really sad. He is a wonderfully entertaining, funny, charismatic man. He was started off his career as a famous drag comedian called Lily Savage. I know him more so from watching all of his things that he has done for dogs, the awareness that he's brought to dogs that are in shelters, Battersea Dogs Home, For the Love of Dogs, the Christmas shows every Christmas, and honestly it chokes me up even thinking about it with him and the dogs. You know, he's done so much, and there are so many dogs that now have got their forever homes due to the campaigning that he has done alongside obviously Queen Camilla, their friends, and it was just terribly sad news. But as I said, the one bittersweet thing is he did spend, you know, the last couple of decades making sure that dogs had loving homes. So it's definitely very, very sad news. But we're going to get on to some good news before I start blubbing. Let's get on to some royal news, and that is the King and Queen have had a very cool escort today. They are starting, which should have been leg 2 of their European state visit, and their aeroplane, the RAF Voyager, got escorted by 2 German Typhoons. It's quite the epic sight to see. So I will be reporting more on them and the rest of the royals, but today's video is going to be about Harry because, as I said, he's popped up again. So where do we start with this one? Well, firstly, the King and Queen were meant to be starting their state visit to France on Monday, and this is the day that Harry made an appearance. And to be honest with you, it looked like he was falling out of a clown car. There was so many security that got out of the vehicle with him. They are not taxpayer-funded police. These are private security. This is a man that wants his privacy but has deliberately gone outside the royal courts, got his security car to park there, piled out in front of the press pack, the waiting photographers, and no doubt the paparazzi that he and Meghan notified of his visit. Thus ensuring on Monday, when the King and Queen should have been starting their epic state visit, it would have been Harry's mug all over the newspapers yet again. Now, I know some people have been saying, well, Harry can't decide the court date. No, he can't. But Harry didn't have to come to this court date. It is not a trial. He did not need to be there. He did not have to fly 5,000 odd miles to be one of the first people as well to appear at this Associated Newspapers court case. He's done it through his weight behind it. No, he hasn't. He's done it so his face is in the newspapers yet again. Now, despite the number of security that fell out of the clown car with him, they still didn't manage to protect him from the people that were waiting, which makes me think this might be a little bit deliberate. Harry is so busy grinning and smirking and smiling at the waiting crowds like he's the star of the show. Yes, remember every time I hear a camera click? That is long gone. Now Harry the showman, however, walks straight into a waiting photographer. Some have said the photographer got in his way, some have said that Harry deliberately walked into the photographer. Now normally security guards, they would flank him either side if there's a crowd of people to protect him. So it all seems a bit suspect that his security didn't stop him from walking into that guy. It led for a very awkward moment. The paparazzi naturally looked awkward. He was protecting his camera because more often than not, Harry has tried to grab them and smash them. But I guess this is now the more mature, grown-up Harry, who just turned and glared at him instead. Now, Harry, like I said, did not have to be at this particular court case on this particular day because it is the preliminary hearings. Harry has flown all this way for them to battle it out in court, for witness statements to be read, for the judges to decide in the High Court whether it is deemed worthy enough to go to trial. Now, there are multiple claimants on this, such as Sadie Frost, Baroness Lawrence, and of course Elton John, who all chose to go into the building using the side door. Harry was the first one to appear, and he appeared to such a huge fanfare. Now, bearing in mind that Harry is suing His Majesty's government for security, Harry had no problem posing for a photograph the night before, which then magically got leaked onto a Sussex Squad fan page. Harry is quite clearly posing for this. He was quite happy for the picture to be posted. This person knew exactly where he was going. So it's pretty obvious that Harry wanted it to be leaked down through the fan base, which naturally will appear on social media, and it will then mean that the paparazzi can go without actually notifying the press directly themselves. You know, Meghan and Harry like to keep their hands clean as much as possible. But if he was that security conscious, you wouldn't be posing on your way to the airport. You wouldn't be letting people know. Harry always lets people know where he's going when he wants to. Now, for those of you that don't know what this current court case is about, because it's hard to keep up with Harry, the names that I have just read out, they have all grouped together and they are suing Associated Newspapers because of private investigators have admitted somewhere, this is their accusations, that they were paid by Associated News Group to obtain information. Now, this isn't just your standard phone hacking. The accusations are quite bad if true. It consists of bugging their cars, bugging their homes, using illegal means to obtain medical information, hacking their bank accounts. So it is quite a serious case, and I truly think that if they get found out guilty for actually doing this, then they should absolutely have the book thrown at them. But given the nature of these accusations, and Harry is obviously feeling like he's headlining it himself, he has chosen this moment in his witness statement to attack the royal family again. You cannot believe it. What is it that the royal family are said to have done now that involves being brought up in a court case against Associated News? He said in his statement that the royal family, without a doubt, yes, quoting, without a doubt, withheld information from him to do with the phone hacking scandal. If you remember, this was a huge worldwide news that came out back in 2011 when the inquiry was started. It was Rupert Murdoch, it was news of the world. It was worldwide news for this phone hacking that had been done. It wasn't just members of the royal family that had been hit and celebrities. It was the families of dead soldiers, families of murder victims, the Millie Dowler murder case, family members of people that were killed in the London bombings. I mean, it really truly was the scourge of humanity that people out there actually did this, and they got away with it for as long as they did. But the fact that Harry is trying to vilify his family and saying that they were somehow involved in keeping information away from him, pick up a newspaper, buddy. Read it for yourself. Harry says that he only discovered the real truth when he met Meghan, obviously, when he left the UK in 2020. So Harry, of course, his moment of enlightenment, then decided that, he could actually read the internet. But one big problem with Harry's allegation here about how the royal family, the nasty, evil royal family, kept information from him, it was actually Prince William that instigated an investigation into phone hacking because he and Catherine were becoming concerned that they were being tapped, their phone calls were being recorded, and it was the fact that William pushed for Scotland Yard that inquiries started being made. So I mean, the fact that Prince William and Catherine were hacked so many times, Catherine got hit the worst in this. People don't realise, and it really bugs me, because they only got interested in the royal family after Harry met Meghan, and they got married. Catherine had it worst above anyone else. She got her phone hacked 155 times. Her family got stalked. They dug up everything that they could. Bearing in mind she was a teenager for most of this, she absolutely had her life turned upside down for choosing to be with the man that she loved. Their story is a true love story. The fact that she stood by him and put up with all of this. The paparazzi were awful to her. They shouted rude, disgusting things at her in airports, car parks, literally chased her like they did Diana. And, it was truly disgraceful what Catherine got put through. You've never seen Catherine sit there and moan about it, have you? She quietly got on with it, the same as all the other members of the royal family do. But Harry's now trying to say that he was somehow the biggest victim that came out of the phone hacking scandal. Now, from what I've read so far, Associated Newspapers are obviously denying all the claims. The private investigators that are being accused have signed witness statements to say that they have never, ever undertaken such, deplorable things. things. They've never been paid by Associated Newspapers to do anything of such a serious nature. They're back from 16 years ago. And to top it all off, the one thing that I think might actually go against Harry, Elton, Sadie, and all of them that are bringing this case is the fact that the documents being used to raise this case, some of the documents are from the original Levinson inquiry, which obviously got, well, I guess in a way, like sealed. They're not allowed to be used. The judge, Levinson, when he ruled on it and said that, you know, all of the evidence that was given, it's done, it's highly confidential, it's not to be used again. But Harry and all of the others are using documents from that to try and bring this case. So it could get thrown out on that alone. So currently this is in the preliminary stages and Harry and co are trying to get this taken to trial. Harry, as I said earlier, he is already in the middle of another court case with A&L for discussing or basically disclosing arguments to do with his court case against His Majesty's government, him suing for private protection. Harry is also spearheading another lawsuit of a similar nature, which is going to start in May, just perfectly in time for the King's coronation. And that is against Mirror Group newspapers over the phone hacking, the same phone hacking from 1996 to 2011. And believe it or not, he is also trying to bring a case against News Group, Rupert Murdoch's News Group that owned The Sun and the News of the World, which is now defunct. This is all to do with the original court case, the Levinson. That was the news group that got in trouble. That is the ones that got shut down. News of the World, after 168 years of printing, was nevermore. And Harry is trying to sue them as well. So obviously now that Harry's big reveal book is out of the way, Netflix is out of the way, and they're not very much liked, their offers are obviously slowing down. So now Harry has decided the way to make money is to sue everyone over everything. And mainly, which is the most laughable bit, as this cartoon perfectly says, it's to do with his privacy, yet he clearly doesn't give a toss about anyone else's privacy, including another young woman that he has now brought under the spotlight. In utter hypocrisy, and as part of Harry's witness statement today, he has made it public another woman that he dated whilst he was at Eton and had kept the relationship secret. She's now married to a financier and a former army captain. No doubt her name and her photographs will be plastered all over the news yet again shortly. I don't understand how Harry can say that he wants privacy for him and Meghan when it suits them, but they do not offer the same for other people. Now let's talk about the fact that Harry has obviously flown into the UK without police protection. The fact that he's suing His Majesty's government over this, demanding that it's not safe in the UK. He's perfectly fine to pull such a big publicity stunt and announce on social media that he's on his way, ensuring that paparazzi and maybe even crowds of people turned up to catch him smiling and grinning as he got out of the vehicle. Surely the government can use this in their favour to have that ridiculous case thrown out of court as well. The fact that there is a side door at the courthouse for obvious reasons, people that don't want to be seen, it seems the other celebrities that arrived used the side exit. Harry used the side exit when he was leaving, and it might have been because the judge or someone in the courthouse said, please use the side exit, you're causing too much of a hullabaloo outside. Or the fact, now that the world knows that he was there, there could have been quite a lot of people ready and waiting to go, boo! Which I like to think. A news report also came out while I was away, which should come as absolutely no surprise, that when I reported on the San Vicente bungalows, the very exclusive, elusive private restaurant and bungalows that celebrities can stay at, they have a celebrity secret side door exit and entry, and Harry and Meghan insisted on using the front door. Well, that's because they arranged for the paparazzi to be there and they couldn't very well go round the back. It's the same as when Meghan was seen in West Hollywood when she did another paparazzi stunt recently. They could have parked the security vehicle right outside the restaurant. Meghan made them park it up the road, so they ensured that they had lots of footage of her walking up the road, showing her hand, her ring. Did you see her ring? Have you seen her ring? Did you not see her ring? You know, it's absolutely ridiculous that these two think the world is stupid. Now, in another little manipulative stunt to try and take a swipe at the royal family, Harry, through sources, let it be known that he had asked to see his father on his visit, knowing that King Charles had obviously cancelled going to France, for which he was told he was too busy. The fact that this information came out the way that it did, he was too busy to see his son, has left people to be like, oh, well, Charles, mean, nasty Charles, cruel, bitter William and Catherine taking their kids away on the school term break. Everyone should drop everything for Harry. Yet Harry couldn't drop anything to come to his grandfather's memorial, or more importantly, didn't even bother to go see his dying grandmother when he last visited the UK, which obviously sadly was in the last few days that the Queen was alive. But no, everyone should drop what they're doing and scurry around Harry. Harry that is now poisonous, toxic, mean, malicious, bitter, angry, that has sold private secrets about his family on TV, talked about their residences, their homes, their children. But no, everyone should be pandering to Harry, offering an olive branch to Harry, giving Harry hugs. The fact that his family have absolutely made no effort to drop anything to see him makes me back up the feelings that I have that everything we're seeing in the newspapers is clickbait. I do not believe for a second that King Charles is not angry at Harry for his attacks on Camilla. He didn't just say one or two things about Camilla. He wrote about how Charles shouldn't have married her. He and William begged. Camilla is the one that sold details on William, implying, that any negative stories, Camilla's been doing that to his other son. She's a villain. She snuck away to the crown. Charles, no matter what you think of Camilla, is his wife. He adores her. He loves her. They're soulmates. I love them. They're lobsters, okay? And I can honestly say that I've never believed that Charles is fearful of what Harry might do, fearful that he doesn't appease him. William's worried about this. It's absolute, what's my favourite phrase? Bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. I think that we are going to see a very different outcome at the Jubilee to what the media and Montecito and all these PR people are stirring the pot with. They stir the pot. They want people to think that Charles is weak and forgiving and pandering to his youngest son because they want the public to go, oh, I won't support it. I won't watch the coronation. Charles has lost my support. I've seen thousands of comments under every story where they paint Charles out to be pandering to Harry and Meghan, where they make out that William is trying to, and Catherine are trying to patch up differences and offer olive branches. You see the comments underneath. It is one big game and it is being played by the people in Montecito. And I actually truly believe that Charles is his mother's son and he's playing a game of chess. By saying nothing, they're not getting drawn into the petty, pathetic arguments, but they're also not giving Harry and Meghan fuel to do more dramatic storylines in the run-up to it. There is also even a very good chance that whilst Harry's sources said he asked to see his father, Harry didn't even tell the king that he was coming, and then has done this to make people think, oh, there's a problem there. It's all about getting them in the headlines and getting their smirking faces plastered all over the newspapers. The main newspapers aren't even really falling for it. I've been up to the shop in the last couple of days. I think there was one photograph of Harry. All of the others are just ignoring it. They've got photographs of all of the other more important things that are going on in the world, and that is the way it should be, especially in a country that Harry has done everything to try and tarnish. So I personally hope that all of the media outlets that have photographers on call do as King Charles has done or reportedly done, and that is when Harry calls to alert them where he is, they just say, sorry, we're too busy. So that is the end of this video. Don't forget, if you haven't already, like the video or subscribe to the video. Do both those things and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I post a video. And I will see you really soon. Bye.